What if I told you that the reason your life feels stuck has nothing to do with what you lack? It's about the genius you decided to lock away. But before we pick that lock, do me a favor. If you've ever felt like you're playing small, hit the like button right now. It helps other geniuses find their way home. Look around you. You see people who seem to have it all figured out, right? They're confident. They're creative. They're magnetic. You probably tell yourself, man, I wish I had that talent. I wish I had that nerve. Here is the jaw-dropping truth you never heard. You do. You possess that exact level of raw genius, creativity, and power. But you packed it up, tied a bow on it, and stored it deep in your mind's basement. We call this hidden power the golden shadow. Most people know about the dark shadow. That's the part of you with all the anger, the jealousy, the stuff you hate about yourself. But Jung, the legendary psychologist, he saw something else. He saw the gold. The golden shadow is the amazing potential, the dazzling talent, the pure genius that you were forced to abandon to survive. Think of your mind like a massive, high-tech spaceship. The golden shadow is the hyperdrive engine. When you were a kid, that engine was too loud, too bright, too much trouble. Maybe a teacher said, "Quiet down," or a parent said, "Stop dreaming. Be realistic." So you locked the hyperdrive in the cargo bay. Now your ship is crawling on basic motors, and you're wondering why you can't fly. You didn't suppress your darkness. You suppressed your light. You feared that if you were too powerful, too creative, or too successful, you would be rejected. You traded your true potential for the safety of fitting in. That trade was the worst deal you ever made. Everything you want, the success, the relationships, the peace, it is all being held hostage by this locked-away potential. Later in this video, I'm going to reveal a single counterintuitive phrase that you have to say to your golden shadow. This phrase is the key to the basement lock. But if you say it too early, before you understand the process, it won't work. You'll slam the door shut forever. Keep watching, and I'll tell you exactly when and how to say it. Why would your own mind work against you? You don't realize it, but you're still using a survival strategy from when you were 5 years old. You didn't hide your light because you were stupid. You hid it because you were smart. When we are small, our number one, core, non-negotiable need is to belong. If you don't belong, you die. Your mind is built to protect you from being pushed out of the tribe. Picture this, you're 10 years old. You draw an amazing picture, better than anyone in the class. You proudly show it to your friends. But instead of praise, you get a quick, mean comment. "Oh, look at Mr./Ms. Perfect." Or worse, silence. In that split second, your brain registered a threat. Shining bright equals threat to belonging. Your brain said, okay, genius is danger. Acceptance is safety. So you immediately dimmed the lights. You packed away the paintbrushes. You stopped trying so hard. This is what psychologists call the tall poppy syndrome. Imagine a field of beautiful red poppies. They're all roughly the same height. If one poppy starts growing way taller, what happens? The people who walk through the field cut it down. Not because it's bad, but because it's inconveniently different. You didn't want to be cut down. You wanted to be safe. So you cut yourself down first. Your fear isn't a failure. It's the fear of the consequences of success. The feeling that if you are truly great, you will be alone. Think about the trait you secretly envy in others, their confidence, their charisma, their power. That envy isn't a desire for them. It's your golden shadow screaming to be let out. It's the memory of your own lost power. But here is the next critical piece of the puzzle. That childhood fear didn't just make you hide your light. It built a false identity to wear instead. A costume. This costume is the version of you that is okay with being average. This costume is the thing that truly hates your genius. In the next section, we're going to talk about the 5 hidden signs this false identity is controlling your entire life right now. If you've spent your life wearing a costume, how do you find the real you? The genius you hid leaves 5 strange footprints in your daily life. In section 2, we talked about the false identity, that average, safe version of you. It's built to keep your genius locked up. But your true self, the golden shadow, is always trying to get out. Can't just walk out, so it sends signals. We call these the footprints of repression. You might think these are just personality flaws, but they are actually clues. Footprint number 1, the phantom ache. This is a chronic, low-level feeling that something big is missing. You have everything you need, but you still feel empty. It's not sadness. It's the boredom of a genius underemployed. You are starving your powerful self. Footprint number 2, chronic procrastination on big dreams. You can handle small tasks, no problem. But the minute you touch the real project, the novel, the business plan, the huge goal, you shut down. That's the false identity panicking. It knows that success means taking off the safe costume. Footprint number 3, you constantly dim others. Think honestly. Do you get annoyed when someone else is too loud, too creative, or too confident? Do you catch yourself thinking, man, they're so arrogant? Or why do they have to show off? That criticism isn't about them. It's about the part of you forbade yourself from being. Imagine you locked your car keys in a drawer and threw away the key. Every time someone drives past in a cool car, you yell at the window. The yelling doesn't scratch their paint. It just reminds you that your own ride is trapped inside. The key here is, your judgment of others is the map to your hidden self. Footprint number 4, the recurring dream. You keep dreaming or having daydreams where you are the hero, the superstar, the person who effortlessly creates magic. This isn't just wish fulfillment. It's your deeper self running a simulation of your life's actual blueprint. Footprint number 5, the need to justify yourself. When you do succeed, even a little, you instantly feel the need to explain it away. Oh, it was just luck. Anyone could have done it. You are justifying your existence to an invisible judge. This shows you are still operating as the beggar, not the sovereign, a core idea from the previous video. The good news is that recognizing these footprints means you are already starting the process of retrieval. You are holding the map. But there is one footprint that is sneakier than all the rest. It's not hatred or judgment you feel for others. It's envy. And here is the secret. Every time you feel pure envy for someone, you are looking directly at a portrait of your own unlived life. The question isn't why you envy them, but what specific quality of theirs is begging to be lived inside you. We need to identify that specific genius right now. Stop guessing. That person you envy isn't better than you. They are just wearing your shirt. Let's try to figure out which genius you lent out. In the last section, we proved that envy is actually a clue to your own repressed genius. Now, we're going to use that clue. The truth is, everyone represses one of 4 major types of brilliance. These are the genius archetypes, the powers you locked up. 1. The creator. You envy people who draw, write, make music, or innovate effortlessly. Your golden shadow is pure, raw imagination. When you were small, this creative flow was called wasting time or being messy. You stuffed that entire, colorful world into a box. You are hiding a masterpiece. 2. The leader. You hate or envy people who speak up, take charge, or make decisions quickly. Your golden shadow is authority. You were taught that being powerful was bossy or unlikable. Now, you wait for permission when you should be giving the command. 3. The visionary. You envy the people who seem to know what's coming next, the strategists, the researchers, the deep thinkers. Your golden shadow is clarity. You possess a unique way of seeing the future or solving complex problems. But the world dismissed your ideas as too complicated or unrealistic. Think of your genius as a superpower like X-ray vision. The visionary has it, but society gave you dark sunglasses and said, "Don't look too hard. It makes people nervous." So now you walk around bumping into walls when you could literally see through them. The connector. You envy people who build big networks, have deep friendships, and seem completely at ease sharing their emotions. Your 4. Golden shadow is connection and empathy. You have a profound ability to heal and unify. But this sensitivity was punished, called too emotional or too soft. You learned to build a wall instead of a bridge. Which one is it? Which description made you pause? Which one made you feel a little heat in your stomach? Your goal right now is to identify which power you buried. You don't have to tell anyone else. This is just for you. Okay, you've picked one. But here's the terrifying realization. Reclaiming your golden shadow doesn't make your life easy. It makes your life dramatically harder. Because the first thing you have to do is confront the ultimate lie, the illusion of mediocrity, the story you told yourself that hiding was the safest path. The next section will tear down that illusion and show you why your biggest fear isn't of failure, but of what happens after you win. The biggest lie you ever told yourself wasn't about what you couldn't do. It was about how comfortable it would be to stay small. In the last section, you identified your specific genius, the creator, the leader, the visionary, or the connector. Great. But now comes the real friction. You think that once you know you're a genius, everything will instantly change. That is the myth of instant transformation. It's a total lie. Your mind is designed to resist anything that threatens the status quo. The status quo right now is the illusion of mediocrity. Think of your life as a cozy old couch. It's lumpy, it smells a little funny, and it gives you back pain, but you know exactly where the chips fall out. It's predictable. Reclaiming your genius is like buying a brand new, powerful, slightly scary sports car. The car is better. It goes faster. But your brain says, wait, the couch was safer. I know how to sit on the couch. You cling to the safety of the lumpy couch. This is why, when you first try to act on your genius, you'll be hit with imposter syndrome like a physical blow. Imposter syndrome isn't a lack of confidence. It's the false identity, the costume, screaming that its life is about to end. The scared because the moment you step into your power, you lose your biggest excuse. The right to blame the world. We all think we fear failure. That's easy. Failure means you try, you fall, and you go back to the couch. We get to be the victim. But what we truly fear is success. Success demands absolute responsibility. It means you can no longer say, I would be great if only, or the system is against me. Once you're on the throne, every outcome, good or bad, is your creation. This is the true terror of greatness. So, your mind creates resistance. Self-sabotage, chronic overwhelm, or sudden sickness. It's an unconscious test. It's asking, do you really want this? Are you willing to give up the safety of the couch? The only way to stop this internal resistance is not through a big fight. It's through tiny wins. You cannot take a giant leap, you have to take a micro step. So, what is the smallest, most ridiculous, easy thing you can do right now to acknowledge your buried genius? The next section starts our first internal call to action, designed to cement your first tiny win. If you are tired of the lumpy couch, it's time to commit to the sports car. Let's create your first tiny win. I need you to commit right now. In the comments below, type the name of your archetype, creator, leader, visionary, or connector. This is your first public acknowledgement. This is your first tiny win. Do it now because the next step is crucial. Starting the 4-step retrieval process. Stop waiting for permission. The time for theory is over. We're going to walk into your mind's basement and take back the gold. You just committed in the comments. That's step 0. You named your genius. Now we start the real work. This is the 4-step retrieval process, and the first 2 steps are about turning your biggest weaknesses into your greatest weapons. Remember how we said that when you reclaim your genius, you'll instinctively hate it? These first 2 steps disarm that panic response. Step 1. Awareness is light, the projection journal. You need to stop judging the outside world. Seriously, cut it out. Every time you get that sharp, annoyed feeling about someone else, their arrogance, their loudness, their creativity, you are experiencing projection. You are seeing your repressed gold reflected back to you. Projection is like a movie projector shining on a screen. The movie is your golden shadow. The screen is the person you're looking at. You think the bad quality is in them, but it's just your film running through the machine. You're watching the genius you forbid yourself to be. The action. Start a mental note or a simple note on your phone. Name it the projection journal. For the next week, every time you judge, envy, or hate a specific quality in someone else, write it down. Then, instantly ask yourself, how is this quality alive inside of me? This small act turns unconscious rage into conscious self-discovery. Pulls the movie screen back and points the projector at you. Step 2. The as-if experiment, embodying the trait. Once you've identified a projected quality, you must trick your old false identity into letting it out. We call this the as-if experiment. You are not allowed to try to be perfect. You are only allowed to pretend. The action. Pick the smallest, safest space possible, and act as if you already possess that trait for 5 minutes. If your genius is the leader, pretend you are the most decisive person alive while ordering coffee. Don't apologize for your order. If your genius is the creator, pretend you are the greatest artist in the world while you doodle a ridiculous 5-minute stick figure. No judgment allowed. If your genius is the visionary, spend 3 minutes pretending you already know the answer to a problem at work. Just stand tall and breathe as if the answer is known. This isn't fake it till you make it. This is repatterning. You are using play to bypass the fear sensors that protect the lumpy couch. Remember that ultimate, secret phrase I promised you. The single line that unlocks your true power? You're generating the light needed to see it now. Keep practicing these steps because if you say that phrase without this light, the lock will rust shut forever. You might think the hardest part of this entire process is facing your envy. It's not. The hardest part is coming in step 3. The real friction doesn't happen alone in your journal. It happens when you take this newfound power and put it on the smallest stage. This is where the old tribe tries to pull you back in. The biggest battle isn't with yourself. It's with the world trying to keep you small. It's time to face the critics and step onto the smallest stage. We've done the internal work. You used the projection journal to map your genius, and you used the as-if experiment to trick your brain. You're warm now. But genius that stays hidden is not genius, it's just a nice idea. The final 2 steps are about moving from the private as-if to the public real-world action. Step 3. The smallest stage, publicizing your power. Remember the fear of rejection we talked about? To neutralize that fear, you must expose your genius to the world in a way that has 0 consequences. You are designing a public exposure that is too small to fail. Think of it like a superhero practicing their powers. They don't save the world on day 1. They practice saving a kitten from a low branch. Your smallest stage is that low branch. It's public, but the stakes are almost invisible. The action. You must share your reclaimed trait with 1 person or 1 tiny group. If you reclaimed the creator, don't publish your novel. Share 1 paragraph with 1 trusted friend. Not for feedback, but just to say, I made this. If you reclaimed the leader, don't pitch a new company idea. During your next team meeting, simply be the first one to volunteer to take notes or structure the agenda. Lead the process, not the outcome. If you reclaimed the connector, intentionally ask 1 acquaintance a deep, authentic question about their life, instead of talking about the weather. Be vulnerable for 30 seconds. This tiny public victory breaks the curse of the tall poppy syndrome. It proves to your false identity that the tribe will not kill you for being yourself. Step 4. Ritualizing reclaimed genius, honoring the sovereign. This is the step most people skip. They win, they get busy, and they accidentally lock the genius back up. Repression is a habit. We must replace it with a new, non-negotiable habit. The action. Create a daily ritual, just 10 minutes, that is purely about honoring your specific genius, not about making money or being productive. If you are the visionary, spend 10 minutes every morning just looking out the window, quietly brainstorming wild ideas, without writing them down. If you are the leader, spend 10 minutes organizing a small area of your house or desk purely for the joy of control and structure. This ritual tells your soul, you are seen, you are valued, you are no longer just a good idea. It turns your genius from a special event into a continuous, daily state of being. You now have all 4 steps. But the 4 steps are meaningless without the ultimate key phrase, that single line of command I promised you. It's the final activation code. When you combine these 4 steps with that phrase, you don't just change your life. You change the universe's behavior toward you. You might think that once you integrate your genius, life gets smooth. It doesn't. Integration causes a profound side effect, the loneliness of sovereignty. The world around you will immediately feel alien, and the people you love might feel uncomfortable. The next section will explain why your current friends might not be able to follow you onto your throne. When you finally sit on your throne, you gain everything. But you lose something vital, the comfortable approval of the crowd. You have completed the retrieval process. You are practicing your tiny wins and honoring your ritual. What happens next is a profound, subtle shift. You stop being a collection of roles and you become the integrated self. The first huge benefit is authenticity. You stop spending half your day managing the false identity, trying to look busy, trying to look smart, trying to look cool. The energy you spent hiding your genius is now free. It flows directly into creation. Imagine how tired you are right now. That exhaustion is from the effort of maintaining a lie. Benefit: true clarity. When you stop projecting your envy onto others, the world becomes clear. You stop seeing people as threats or heroes. You just see them as they are. This immediately makes your decision-making sharp and fast. Your life used to be a radio tuned to static and distraction. Reclaiming your genius is like finally tuning into the clear channel. All the noise about what you should do disappears. You instantly know what you must do. The side effect: the loneliness of sovereignty. This is the part nobody talks about. As your frequency changes, you will lose connections. Not through conflict, but through simple incompatibility. People who are still living on the lumpy couch. People who need to blame, who need to wait, who need to find comfort in shared complaints. They will not understand you anymore. They will feel uncomfortable around you. Why? Because your new light is a mirror showing them the genius they haven't faced yet. And if they are not ready, they will simply pull away. This is not arrogance on your part. It is just physics. You are a tuning fork vibrating at a new, clear frequency. The old, lower frequencies must fall away. This new feeling is not the loneliness of abandonment. It is the loneliness of sovereignty. It's the quiet, vast feeling of knowing you are the captain of your own ship. Even if you are sailing alone for a while, you realize you don't need a committee to confirm your worth. You don't need subjects to sit on your throne. Your power is internal and complete. This freedom is worth every single uncomfortable farewell. You are now ready. The integrated self no longer asks for power. It commands it. Before we show you 2 quick case studies, get ready. The time is approaching when you can finally deploy the ultimate key phrase I promised you at the beginning. This phrase is the final activation code. When you combine these 4 steps with that phrase, you don't just change your life. You change the universe's behavior toward you. You might think that this journey requires becoming a high-pressure, constantly performing CEO. Wrong. The most integrated people often look the most peaceful. The final, subtle truth is that the integrated self finds its greatest power in the one thing you were taught to never do: rest. The next section will show you how rest is actually the highest form of sovereign action. Sovereignty isn't about running faster. It's about knowing when to stop running. True power looks like deep, peaceful rest. You saw the twist. The integrated self finds power in rest. Why? Because rest isn't laziness. Rest is the sovereign choice to maintain your high frequency. The old, false identity was addicted to hustle and burning out. The queen knows her energy is finite and must be honored. Now, let's look at 2 quick, real-life examples. These people didn't become famous, but they became whole. Case study 1. The quiet analyst reclaiming the creator. There was a woman, Sarah. She was a brilliant financial analyst, but she secretly envied artists. She projected, calling them irresponsible. Her golden shadow was the creator. When she followed step 4, the ritual, she didn't quit her job. She started spending 1 hour every weekend with 0 goals, just painting abstract watercolors. She found that this restful act of creation made her mind clearer on Monday morning, increasing her actual financial performance by 20%. She integrated her genius without changing her job title. Case study 2. The overachiever, reclaiming the connector. Mark was the classic burnout CEO. He was productive but always tense and lonely. He repressed the connector, the ability to be vulnerable and feel deeply. He believed showing emotion was soft. His ritual was to take a true, unconnected lunch break every day, no phone, no meetings. That 1 hour of true rest and simple connection with nature or self unlocked his empathy. He became a better leader not by working harder, but by being sovereign over his own time and vulnerability. These stories prove that reclaiming your genius doesn't mean becoming someone else. It means accepting all the parts of the person you already are. Your genius is not a burden. It is your natural state of rest. You are now at the finish line. You have seen the footprints, you know the archetypes, you have the 4 steps, and you understand the power of rest. The time is now to use the ultimate key phrase I promised you at the beginning. This phrase is the final activation code. When you combine these 4 steps with that phrase, you don't just change your life. You change the universe's behavior toward you. But before you hear the phrase, there is one last, non-negotiable step. It is the single most dangerous obstacle to permanent sovereignty. It is the one person you must forgive. The next section will prepare you for the ultimate, final act of liberation. Before you speak the command that changes everything, you must face the final, non-negotiable step. The debt of the past must be cancelled. We are here. You have reclaimed your golden shadow. But a single debt remains. The debt owed to the person who locked your genius away. You think that person was a parent, a teacher, or a bully. It wasn't. The last person you must forgive is the younger you. You, the sovereign adult, must forgive the scared child who made the choice to hide the gold for safety. Until you forgive that self, the lock remains. The grand open loop final reveal. Now the final command. The single key phrase that turns the light on permanently. Say this quietly to yourself. Right now. I am not the exception. I am the expression. This is not an affirmation. This is a command to the universe. I am not the exception means you stop waiting for permission. I am the expression means you recognize you are the force of creation itself. The life you dream of is not something you chase. It is something you become. And you become it the moment you finally stop asking and start commanding.